Attention, attention, may I have all your eyes and ears to the front of the room.
When I begin to think about literacy's role in my life, I immediately think back to 11th grade AP Chem. During class, Mrs. Finney Foreman would either lecture or do some type of hands-on activity. Every day when I would get home from school, I would take a snack in my room and begin reading. I would sit on my comfy bed and read my textbook until my eyes hurt. Sometimes I would even miss dinner because I was reading. Coates and Treichel, the authors of my chemistry textbook, were like my own personal teachers. I couldn't learn enough from them. I can remember getting back my test and comparing grades with my classmates. I remember my friend Danielle being so upset over one particular test. She finally asked, "How could you possibly get that grade? I studied all day yesterday." I told her my secret. "Danielle, all I do is read the textbook." Needless to say, she did much better on the next test, and she thanked me for my secret. Books have always been there to help me no matter what time of day it was. My education through reading did not start in 11th grade. One day, when I was in a small hobby store with my dad, I had the choice of what I wanted to buy. I was choosing between a super soft, stuffed dog and the book Charlotte's Web. My dad told me that I was only allowed to have one of the precious items. After much debating, I decided to try begging. "Dad, pretty please with cherries on top, let me get the puppy and the book." My dad looked at me with a serious face and said, "I'm sorry, Lydia, but you're just going to have to pick one, and you need to hurry. We are leaving soon." I thought of my older cousin Nikki. She was only a few years older than me, and she was always reading something. On this thought, I made my decision. To both my dad's surprise and mine, I chose the book. As soon as we got in the car, I opened up the book and started to read. I was fascinated by the story of a talking spider. Even though I was only in the 2nd grade, I read the book in a matter of days. After this experience, I would always sign books out at the school library. The elderly school librarian loved seeing me, and the feeling was mutual. I used to take my books to the playground to read. I would sit on the swing set with the wind blowing the pages around and read. At bedtime, I would even stay up late with a little nightlight my nanny bought for me and read in the dark. I believe that this initial love of reading allowed me to excel in my schoolwork. However, as I got into the higher grades, I was put on a time limit to learn material. I stopped reading so much because I simply ran out of time. I have always learned quicker from a lecture than reading. Taking the time to read about a topic sometimes feels like a waste of time. Despite these feelings, I will still read a novel once in a while. One book in particular that was truly insightful to me is The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. This novel allowed me into the world of another culture. The book is about 4 sisters who go to a small village in Africa with their parents. The book is very descriptive about the land and the people in the community. In the novel, I could hear the sounds of Africa. I could feel the dirt beneath my feet. I truly went to Africa from my bedroom. Never being to another country, this is the closest that I've gotten to being there. In my high school education, I was taught other ways than just from reading. Almost every day in AP Chemistry, Mrs. Finney would lecture. Although I find anything about chemistry interesting, these lectures sometimes put my class to sleep. Sitting in the uncomfortable chairs which are attached to the desk did not help anyone pay attention. Apart from lectures, we had to take tests which forced us to learn material at a quick pace. In order to do well on tests, I would read about the subject. One time, our chemistry test was made from all of the examples in the book. In my senior political science class, I participated in many debates. One time, I debated on the issue of welfare. The entire night before that class, I read about welfare to prepare for the debate. Reading about welfare made my argument all the better. Also, as a chemistry major, labs are important to me. Most scientists research readings before performing an experiment. So although these other educational activities are important, they all stem from reading. Reading has been the basis of my learning. Books have taught me a world of different things I would otherwise not have known. They have shown me everything from stories about a talking spider to the answers on my chemistry exams. Sometimes they even allow me to go to countries like Africa. No matter where I am or what time of day it is, I can always look to books for guidance on anything I need. If all of the books I have read were combined into a person, I would thank him for teaching me everything I have ever wanted to know.